Andrew, we're still waiting on that official list, which will come from the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative. But we are getting a statement from the White House where the president is confirming that they will be moving forward with these 25% tariffs on what he references is a basket of goods worth about $50 billion in exports. He notes that despite his relationship with President Xi of China, which he says is very important to me, that trade between the two countries has been very unfair, and for that reason, he is going to be moving forward with these tariffs. He does say that the U.S. plans to pursue additional tariffs if China engages in retaliatory measures, such as imposing new tariffs on U.S. goods, services, or agricultural products, raising non-tariff barriers, or taking punitive actions against American exporters or American companies operating in China, which appears to be a direct response to the spokesperson for the foreign ministry, who overnight and reiterated the officials yesterday, who said basically China is prepared to respond to the U.S. It would happen immediately. It would be dollar for dollar. And then any progress in the negotiations between the two countries would essentially fall by the wayside. So he's challenging China that if they retaliate, that they will be slapping on a second wave of tariffs, though he doesn't mention what exactly the size of that tranche would be or exactly what they would target. But certainly an interesting development that will heighten tensions not only between the U.S. and China, but also within the market, as it was the note from the Treasury Secretary about a month ago that the trade war was on hold. That was a tonic to the markets for the last month. So we'll see what happens when the markets open today, guys.
Kayla, you point out correctly, it was Stephen Mnuchin who told us that he wished he hadn't used the words trade war, that this is really more of a trade spat or tensions that are kind of there ramping up to this. But I wonder, what does a trade war look like if not, I'll see your bid and raise you 5? Oh, yeah, I'll see your 5 and raise you 10. And is that what we're now kind of embarking on?
Well, not only embarking on with China, but also embarking on with Canada and the European Union. You know, when we talk about whether this is the U.S. just posturing, at this point, these tariffs are going to be put in place. The steel and aluminum tariffs with allies are already put in place, and Canada and Europe are going to retaliate there. China, very likely, they have said that they will retaliate immediately and in kind for whatever the U.S. does. That being said, I think that this action publicly, even though it will rattle the markets and it will have an economic impact, there are still talks going on behind the scenes. You had the Secretary of State who was there yesterday, and as I noted last hour, a couple people who have spoken to the president say that he truly believes that the U.S. gets more negotiating leverage if these tariffs are actually implemented and not just threatened. So the hope from the White House is still that they get a trade deal out of this, not that this is, you know, the long-term endgame.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.